The sculpture in front of us here that'll be unveiled today is a gift to the city that was created by artist Joseph Sheppard. Mr. Sheppard is an award-winning sculptor and painter. His work graced the collections of institutions, including the National Portrait Gallery in Washington, D.C., the Baltimore Museum of Art, and the Carnegie Museum of Art in Pittsburgh. Please welcome the man who did the work that we'll soon see, Joseph Sheppard.
Thank you. I think there's nobody here that would disagree that Brooks is probably the best third baseman that ever played. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. But anybody that's ever met Brooks would definitely agree that he's probably one of the best human beings that anyone ever met. This all came about, at least my knowledge of it, 6 years ago, when Henry Rosenberg and I told Brooks that we're both very, very fortunate to have Henry as a friend. Brooks was the hero, I'm the sculptor, and Henry's our friend. So Henry had this wonderful idea to do a statue of Brooks. And through perseverance with Dottie, his wife, and Henry, they pushed for this thing now for over 6 years. And that brings me to a little story. Some of you people probably remember the Peabody Bookshop and a magician there, Dantini the Great. Well, Dantini used to do this trick, and he would say, "Do you know how long this took?" And everybody say, "Well, I don't know. He said, "It took me 6 years because I learned a trick in 5 minutes, but it's taken me 6 years to find a place to show it." And that's the story of this statue. And we decided to go ahead with the statue, and then we didn't know where we were going to put it. Then we thought, well, maybe we'll put it in Brooks's house, but there's not enough room because he has all the 16 golden gloves in the living room. So we had a friend in the city, Billy Gilmore. He came up with this spot, and he said, "This is the perfect spot right in front of the best sports bar in the city." And here it is, and I think it's a fantastic spot. There are certain things about the sculpture that I came up with, the idea of it. I have a friend, Morton Tatter, who was the official photographer for the Orioles for years and years and years. And he gave me a stack of photographs, maybe 50 to 100 of Brooks through all these 22 years of him playing. Sometimes his hair was long, sometimes he had a crew cut, sometimes the pants were skin tights, other times they were baggy. And so Brooks was here for all those changes in our world. And so I picked something in between. But through all these years, from year to year to year, a certain pose came up of Brooks picking up the ball on third base and throwing to first base. And this was repeated, this position from one year to the other, and that's the one I chose to do the statue. So that's the position he is. When he's unveiled, you'll see that he's standing on third base, throwing to first. So he's lined up as the stadium bases are lined up. The other thing is that I made his glove gold because of all the 16 golden gloves. I have one last statement. When this piece was sitting in the foundry in Pietrasanta, where I live in Italy, I had a friend from Florida who was visiting, and he saw this piece, and next to it was a replica of the Michelangelo David that's in Florence. And he looked at this and he said to me, he said, "You know, Florence has their David. Now Baltimore has its Brooks." Thank you.
Can't wait to see it, Joseph.